Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to try to make one of my favorite dishes, which would be the sweet and sour pork. So let's go and check it out. Alright, so these are the ingredients that you're going to need. You're going to need pineapple, you're going to need bell peppers, onions, garlic, and then you're also going to need soy sauce, chicken broth powder. I use this to kind of season the meat. Black pepper, salt. You don't need to have chili peppers, but I like to make things a little bit spicy. So you also need cornstarch, ketchup, and sugar, vinegar, either or. It's up to you. I like to use a mix of both. I don't know, because I feel like this one just tastes more sour. I don't know, but, and it's healthier for you, I think. But anyways, and you need some flour, and you need some before I begin making any recipes, especially recipes that have meat and vegetables in it, I always cut the vegetables first. So right now I have about 1 bulb of garlic. Again, you can cut this recipe in half, but because I like to make a lot of this, I'm going to double the recipe here. You also need 1 onion. I don't like it too big because I find like onion can overpower the dish. So kind of like a medium one. So it doesn't have to be too big unless you really like onion, because then you can put that in if you want. So I'm just gonna always peel like the outer layer out. And then I'm going to cut these kind of in larger sections. So I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to cut it like this, quarters, and then cut it like about 4 times. And I'm going to put all the veggies kind of in one container here. So, and for the bell peppers, I have the sweet ones. If you like the green bell peppers, you can use those too. I just like these because it makes the dish look more colorful and vibrant. So right now I have about 4 bell peppers. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna take the inside out. All the seeds out. We're gonna just cut these ones probably the same way, 4. And then I'm going to cut these maybe like 3 in each. The reason why I like them kind of big is because it just makes it more crunchy in the dish. So I'm gonna do the same thing for the rest of these bell peppers here. And I've already cut up 1 pineapple, and I cut them in kind of like nice chunky sizes. You can also use a can of pineapple as well if you like. I like to have a lot of pineapple because I love pineapples. But also you can always kind of have it for later too, right? So now I have some pork. I tend to look for any pork that's not fatty because we're gonna deep fry it anyway, and we're gonna put sauce on it. So I just grabbed some pork loin, and I have about 1.3 kilograms. Again, it might seem like a lot. You can always reduce this recipe. I always like to make a lot more. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna cut these in cubes. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse these. These ones still have the bones in it, obviously. So I'm just going to cut around it. And I just grabbed whichever one that kind of allowed me to make this into nice little cubes. kind of like that. You know, I don't want it too big, but I don't want it too small either. So cut these up like this. And then we're gonna put this in a separate container because we're gonna marinate it for about, I don't know, like 2 hours or so. I'm gonna do the rest of the pork like this. And make sure that your pork is defrosted like well, only because like when you fry it up, it can make like the oil splatter. So make sure that it's really, you know, all the frost is gone, all the ice is gone. All right, so now that we have our meat cut up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toss the garlic in there because we're gonna marinate this for at least 2 hours in the fridge. Apparently it'll taste better if you like leave it overnight, but I don't know about you, but I ain't got time for that. I wanna eat this now. Anyways, I'm gonna be putting probably maybe like a tablespoon of sesame oil in it because who doesn't love sesame oil? I'm also gonna do a tablespoon or so of soy sauce. I like to use this one. I know a lot of people use the soy sauce for fish, to marinate fish, but there's something like sweet about this soy sauce. I absolutely love it. I don't know why, but I really love this soy sauce. And it's Lee Kum Kee seasoned soy sauce for seafood. But I'm using it for pork. And with the sesame oil, I just used, I don't know, Kadoya, just a classic normal sesame oil. I'm gonna be putting some black pepper in here as well, probably a teaspoon or so. Again, if you don't like black pepper, you guys can definitely avoid using that too, right? And I'm gonna use some Himalayan salt, probably like a teaspoon or so of salt in here. You know? And then I'm gonna put some chicken broth powder. I know, it's like I'm using chicken and then I'm using like seafood soy sauce. Like, what am I doing, right? But I always like to put chicken broth in it just to kind of, because it just brings out the flavor. I don't know. I really like doing that. So maybe like a teaspoon of this as well. And then we mix it with our, oh, I almost forgot. We also need baking soda. Maybe like a teaspoon of baking soda as well in there. And we're just gonna mix it up. We are making quite a bit here. I know my family really likes this recipe, so I like to make a lot. So about a cup. Usually I don't measure this stuff, I just kind of eyeball it. So it's something I have to get used to. You're gonna need about half a cup of apple cider vinegar. And then half a cup of white vinegar. Cornstarch. I'm going to taste test it. I think it's really important to kind of taste test, see if you like the flavor. Okay, so I have about 2.5 cups of flour. I'm also going to be putting Cool Runnings like seasoning. I really love this seasoning. I probably use about like 2 or 3 tablespoons of this in here. I also want to put some black pepper in here, so maybe about like 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and then 2 teaspoons of salt. Ooh. Because this meat is already kind of like moist, I'm just gonna dip it in here once and just kind of shake the excess off. And we're gonna do that with all the pieces here. We have this breaded. For the first round, we're gonna dip them in some eggs, and then we're gonna bread it again. So this is how it looks like. I double fried these because there's so much pork I had to do it like 3 times. But yeah, I like how these turned out. So right now I'm gonna start stir frying the vegetables and adding the sauce. If you can't, if it's too much right now to serve, I would just keep the deep fried pork on the side. Only put as much as you're gonna be eating with the sauce because it'll be soggy if you leave it overnight in the fridge. That's my suggestion. So I'm just gonna add like the pineapples. Lord knows I love pineapples, so I probably will add some more at the end of this. Alright, so this looks about right to me. You can see like the onions are getting translucent here. And so to me, I feel like that's like the perfect tenderness of the veggies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the deep fried pork in here. Just kind of stir it around. Woo! Start dropping it everywhere. Woo! I kind of put a little at a time because you might not need all of it, but I always think it's better to have extra sauce than to like be halfway through your recipe and be like, oh my god, I should have had more sauce, and like run out. This is the final product. I know there's like a lot, but I would say it serves like myself. Just kidding. It serves probably about like 6, I would say 6 to 7 people, between 6 to 8 people. But yeah, you can always kind of put it in the fridge as well and make little lunches. But yeah, this is how I make my sweet and sour pork. Alright, let's try it out. First I'm gonna try the pineapple because pineapples. It's good when your pineapple is like more ripe, so it's more sweet, because the sauce is quite sour on its own, so which you need, right? Because everything else is not really as seasoned. So let's try some pork here. It was crunchy. I don't know if you can hear that. I know for me, I like to put kind of some hot sauce on it, but I know like some people don't like hot sauce, so you can leave that out. But if I don't put hot sauce in it, because I like salt, I always put a little bit more salt on it. But because I know that I'm not normal when it comes to how much salt I use, it's good as it is now, but for me personally, I would add a little bit more salt to it. You know what else I find when I cook? It's so hard to cook for like one person. So what I usually do is I like make food that I can kind of freeze as well. Or I just make a ton and like eat it, a lot of it for like a week. Yeah, come try this recipe out, see if you like it, and let me know in the comment section. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and if you like this video, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Man, I wish these dishes just magically wash themselves.